The story continues with Mr. Baldy reluctantly taking a closer look at Herring, frustrated that the goddess reincarnation picked such a weakling. Grumpy Baldy is then forced to reveal a secret that only the special forces of the female only and men only nation know. Herring discovers that there's a mini-city called Prushil, where the chosen ones congregate to do rice cake smashing. It's the most luxurious place on the planet, as only the top warriors from both nations are ever allowed in, even if they are constantly at war. At Prushil, anything they want is given to them, as the sole purpose of the place is to make sure the boys destroy the rice cake, while the girls extract the seeds. The old man continues by explaining that if a man and woman ever steps foot into a room, they aren't allowed to leave until a day has passed. But to get in, he needs the golden ticket, which just happens to be a collar from a fox. As such, he whips out the collar of the strongest warrior on the planet, the one that Ra has given to the weak Herring. Upon hearing the clarification, our boy instantly gets his banana plantation excited as he starts to lose focus by daydreaming about the legendary goddess reincarnation. Herring then zones out, finding himself a little bit scared since as of a few days ago he's never seen a girl and now he's tasked to conquer the strongest. The man in charge then leaves the room, reminding him that he has 1 month to prepare and that he needs to notify Ra of the date. He then reveals to Herring that there is one catch, and that is he needs to actually be accepted into the elite squad before he can notify her. Luckily, Herring is motivated as he wants Ra really bad since she probably has the best vanilla cake, due always destroying every man on the battlefield. As the old man leaves the room, he yells that maybe there is hope for Herring, as Herring discovers that everyone somehow knows his father, a man that goes by the name of Muhbum. Meanwhile, at the Crimson Fox territory of Borderland City, 2 very notable members of the Crimson Foxes are busy drinking Slurpees from each other. The blondie finds herself loving the taste of the rainbow, since for her, the same flavors happens to get stale eventually. On the other end is Martina, where we discover that the two have been trying to fuse themselves so they become an Oreo cookie. Anyways, as the two cosplay some scissors, Tana asks the blondie about the news of Ra, wanting to know more about the man that she has finally chosen to eat the cake. So the blondie lets her know that it wasn't even a man, it was a puppy of a random supply group and not part of the special forces for the wolves. As such, the entire planet was thrown into chaos as the #1 warrior did not pick the second strongest, which happens to be Karim, the mega simp that always gets denied. Nevertheless, the blue-haired goddess finds herself wandering around the Fox Special headquarters, but she notices some commotion at the end of the hallway. She overhears Alita Battle Angel worriedly talking about Danby, as she's apparently been skipping every meal and refusing to drink anything. The girls think it's a form of love sickness as she never got to extract the seeds from Herring's behemoth when he got captured. Unfortunately for her, if she keeps up the antics, she'll get punished by the Queen of the Foxes, even though she got it bad enough as someone else yuan her man. As we meet more of the Crimson Foxes, every single one starts to think that Era might be onto something as Herring might be more powerful than he seems. But as girls do, they leave to join an episode of Gossip Girls, as the girls pester Alita about information on the so-called behemoth. So she reenacted what happened when Herring's banana plantation transformed into a rocket, which Danby tried to explode it over and over. Even Alita was feeling flustered just from her telling the story, even though she was busy fighting off Levi most of the time. Nevertheless, the trio came to a conclusion as to why Era chose a puppy, claiming that she chose Herring just because of his tree trunk size. Alita then made a good point as she points out what Herring's thingy did to Danby, something they haven't really seen in a long time. Afterwards, the girls find the squad leader, so they try to gank her, asking where the hell she's been, but understandably, she's been interrogated all night. Suddenly, everyone's attention shifts towards the room of the blondie earlier, where we discover her name to be Biol as they hear some really weird and loud noises coming from the room. So the girls try to sneak in as their curiosities get the better of them, wanting to know more about what's causing Biol to be really loud. Much to their astonishment or disgust, you decide they realize what she's been up to, so they keep watching on exactly like you sussy Becca's watching our recaps. However, during the ordeal, Biol becomes a Chad as she whips out a Herring banana plantation lifelike replica, as the two talk about the rumors of Herring owning the size of a prince. Anyways, just like every single video, the girls are glued to the scene, not realizing that they are secretly loving every single moment. As such, more and more decide to crowd the door as they stared on perplexed, wondering if they should close the browser when their family walks in. But then the door burst open due to too many foxes watching the amazing show they have never seen before, so make sure to subscribe. Regardless, the girls ask if the rumors are true, wondering if Herring actually has a weapon of mass destruction hidden inside his banana plantation. Although it's top secret information, Biol decides to let it rip, just like my farts, leaking to everyone that his size is indeed of a prince. At that very moment, every Crimson Fox became mesmerized without even seeing it themselves, so they began charging towards the replica, wanting more. Meanwhile, Herring feels a sudden chill on his spine, as his ultra instinct is probably kicking in, somehow knowing that dozens of girls are clamoring for him without them even seeing his face. The next day at the Wolves' headquarters, every single official becomes shocked as they inspect Herring for his otherworldly features in front of everyone. Everyone is in utter disbelief, even the old grumpy Baldy is left speechless, as they witness Herring's banana plantation with their very own eyes. Eventually, the top officials agree that our boy literally is a prince, due to the behemoth of sword that he is carrying. Now imagine being Herring right now, since I'm surprised he's able to get the banana tree growing in front of only dudes. Nonetheless, it's revealed that Herring's ultimate ability places him rank 1 middle class. With the insane revelation, every single leader almost chokes on their own spit, unable to fathom how a puppy is basically a hidden titan. So with the onset of the new information, every single squad commanders began to try and recruit him. In mere seconds, everyone in the ultra-top secret room began fighting one another as they all want Herring to join their elite team. But just like with the random drops in quality, Herring is left unamused as he didn't expect anything to unfold exactly like this. But Moo Man smartly interjects, reminding every commander in the room that it's Ra, the legendary 1000 steps, that has targeted Herring for her vanilla cake to get destroyed. So everyone began to simmer down as they all got brought back to their senses, remembering how intricate the situation is with Ra involved. As such, Mr. Baldy stands up, claiming that although it is quite surprising, the council still needs to cover one of the most important information. That is, to be specific, his basic power level. With his unknown power level, the entire council erupts as every single one volunteered to observe the following power level test, wanting to know more about this prince. As the day continued to drag on and on for Herring, he finally had time for a small break. However, it just coincided with Sussy Becca Levi appearing at the compound, still looked mad as hell. So he finds Herring and turns his back on him, where he murmurs to Herring how much he wished he could destroy his life right now. But instead, he points his sword at him, telling him that he'll get eaten by red foxes anyways, so he asks if he's ever swung a sword before. Kareem then continues by ordering Herring to go ahead and show him what he's truly capable of doing. So like a true Sigma male, he decides to use the fake training sword, causing Kareem to be instantly frustrated. As Kareem is unable to control his anger, the top brass looks on from afar, laughing at how a random boy could make the legendary warrior lose his cool. Even members of the top Garimbi force began to look on, claiming how they have never seen their captain get so heated up before, especially in front of such a weakling. So the elite Garimbi team started to chuckle, wondering if Kareem might actually slice and dash the boy in front of everyone. But Kareem just stands there, face-palming, as even the old man is getting excited at seeing Kareem get all up in his emotions, as the simp is still unable to believe he lost a Ra to the weak pup. So Moo, like a true gentleman, whips out some caramel popcorn for everyone as the show is about to go on. Fast forward to the Black Castle, where the Wolves King resides in isolation from the continent. The Kurta King of all men is named Buxabarum, where he sits on his throne, with captured foxes as mercy. He fiercely orders the fox under him to make sure she doesn't waste any of the honey that the king is giving her, since Bro is a menace to society. Nonetheless, he can't get enough from the foxes he has captured, so he glistens at the thought of Ra's vanilla cake, since it's the bomb as every man wants it. Anyways, Bro is revealed to be like a villain from Vinland Saga, as he literally has dozens of captured foxes that he claps with his hand every day. After attacking every single rice cake in front of him daily, he finds a new one hiding in a corner, asking the fox what she's afraid of. So he reaches out to her with his hand, and the rest was history for her, as it is now her daily routine. He then sieges the rice cake with no holding back, as if they are just a sleeve to him. After the king leaves the room of destruction, a random man asks what level of satisfaction he rate his experience today. But the king is agitated at the question, as every experiment brought to him to elevate his experience has always been bang average, with no noteworthy standouts. So the king asks the man if he could bring better products, but he reveals to the king that he can't, as they need to capture top-class products. As such, the king orders the man to hurry up and get him a working top-class elixir to enhance his rice cake experience, as he wants to test it out on a Ra. We then discover that the king is secretly attempting to mass-produce potions that will entice every fox to want their rice cake destroyed, regardless of any color or procedure. Meanwhile, back at the special headquarters, every man is glued to duel between Herring and Kareem. Even Mr. Baldy spits out his popcorn, as everyone witnesses Herring almost slice Kareem with a plastic training sword. Even more so now, Kareem is absolutely full of rage as he almost gets embarrassed in front of his leaders and his own elite squad. As such, Karim finally takes him seriously, so activates his battle stance as he swipes away Herring into the distance. Shortly after, he swiftly counterattacks without warning, disappearing with blistering speed as if he was just lightning. Surprisingly, Herring is actually able to block the attack last second, surprising Karim himself, as not a lot of people on the planet can react that quick. With the show off to an insane pilot episode, everyone began cheering as they watched Karim not hold back a single inch. So Levi continued his relentless attacks, where he is able to get in position for his final blow to finish off Herring. But somehow, Herring is able to dodge with absolute pinpoint accuracy, confirming to everyone that he is indeed the real deal. Meanwhile, Mu started collecting his winnings as he knew what Herring was capable of, so the old man turns to Mu, telling him how he can't believe Woke Bum has been hiding his son the entire time. Mu retorts that he totally expected Bum to raise his son the proper way, but he too can't believe Herring has surpassed his own expectations. With Herring still standing, Mu claims he needs to forcefully stop the power level duel test as Karim might want to actually end him. So before Karim has a chance to do so, Mu steps in, proclaiming that the test is now over. Simultaneously, he mentions how the world has been so boring lately, subtly telling him not to accidentally destroy the new mushroom and fungi that can change the world. Afterwards, Mu pipes up, notifying Herring that his rank is now erased as the Shadow Corps now acknowledge his powers for passing the special tests. With full synchronization mode activated, the entire council agreed at the same time, welcoming him into the Garimbi elite squad. From now on, he's part of the special forces, but Herring still has no idea why everyone seemingly knows his father.